Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I want to walk you guys through some Rogue Mage 2v2, some wins and some losses versus Born Good and Venfuki, playing Holy Pally and Windwalker. So we're going to hop into this first game here, and a lot of these games we actually lost, and it's very difficult to actually beat this composition, so I don't think we played terribly, but on the losses I want to go over things that we maybe could have done different, or maybe things we could have done better, and that is one thing in the comments that I've seen is, Xaryu, I want you to go over losses so we can kind of see what you would have done if you were to fight them again, instead of just going over the wins and doing the things you did great. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go ahead and do that. And I'm definitely open to do things like that more. Another thing I want to do more is actually go over some of your guys' gameplay as well, and feature it here on the channel and kind of break down your gameplay and be like, you know, in this situation, you maybe should have done this, or you did this very well, but you could maybe focus on this, stuff like that. But anyway, getting into this specific game, here on Blades Edge Arena, we're playing Sub-Rogue, we're playing Frost Mage here at level 110. By the way, guys, by the time this video is live, BfA is going to be out. It's not quite out yet, but I'm very, very excited for that as well. Going to do a super, super long live stream and level up to 120 in one sitting. It's going to be great. But anyway, hopping into this game, kidney shot on one, cheap shot on the other. And I love this. But right away, the one thing that's wrong here is that I'm invis maybe 30 yards away, right? I'm invis 30 yards away. This isn't great, just because I need it to blink at least once to get there. Then I need to pop Icy Veins, right? Or I want to pop Icy Veins, and then I need the Comet Storm Ice Nova, and then I still need to get the Poly, and there's only 5 seconds on this, right? So it would have been a little bit better if I was closer in before we did this opener. And what you can do is maybe sap the Monk, and then kidney the Pally, then cheap shot, or just wait. If the Rogue waits a little bit longer for me to get there, then that's all right as well. But the fact that I'm so far kind of sucks, right? So I blink in, I pop Icy Veins. So by the time I blink in and pop Icy Veins, there's 2 seconds left on this kidney, and then I'm not going to be able to really get all the damage I need. I'm trying to cast the Polymorph. I do eventually get the Polymorph, but I only got the Ice Nova, right? So a little tip is that when you Poly an Ice Nova, if you do the Ice Nova as the Poly lands, it's not going to break the Poly, even though they're stacked. So we got that Ice Nova damage out. That's great, but we didn't have enough time to get the Comet Storm into Ice Nova that would have maximized damage. So now it's a little unfortunate, right? Now we are in Monk's 60% life, and we didn't get Trinket from the Monk, and we didn't get Trinket from the Pally, and that was triple cheap shot, right? So we basically just didn't get as much damage. And why did we not get that damage? Because the Rogue opened up a little bit before I got there. So that means either I need to get there quicker or my Rogue needs to wait for me. And that's kind of the big takeaway I want you guys to see from this game, that something that small, right? The Rogue opening before you're there, and you're not getting enough damage, you're not forcing enough defensive cooldowns, and it puts you in a very, very difficult spot going forward. Now the Paralyze comes out onto my Rogue, Leg Sweep comes out, I get the Repolymorph, Touch of Karma comes out, and my Rogue Trinkets the Leg Sweep. So Leg Sweep from the Windwalker came out, my Rogue Trinkets, okay, another Poly on the Paladin, but that Touch of Karma comes out, but they still have Trinkets, they still have Bubble, they still have Bop, they still have Sacks. We have to go through a ton more cooldowns, and guess what? That's my Rogue's Trinket. My Rogue's Trinket is pretty much his life bar, right? Once they can set him up without Trinket, then it's going to be very, very difficult to survive. Triple Sheep to Windwalker, perfectly done here. That's pretty much what you want to do. You do a go, you triple Sheep so Euro can run away. If they turn on you, you have some kites, some slows, you have Ice Block, and then you go again because diminishing return will be back up. That's kind of how Rogue Mage is played. So we're casting the Frost Bolts, we're gaining the Icicles once again. Polymorph has 5 seconds on the diminishing return. Pop that temp shield so any damage it takes is going to be healed back. And then here is our second go. Full blind comes out. Frostbolt, big shatter combo. There's the orb. Pally does Trinket and Sack and the Monk Walls. So here we got a lot of defensive cooldowns. This actually isn't terrible. My my Rogue really should just get out. Right now he should be across the map running away, because once this CC ends on the Windwalker, once this cheap shot's over, or once the Paladin's stun's over, my Rogue is going to get stunned and die, right? Because he has no Trinket for this time around. So we throw out the kidney shot. We actually get a little bit of damage done onto this Paladin, and we might force bubbles. So that's actually great. But now here is what I was just talking about. Since my Rogue did not reset, the Hammer of Justice comes out. Guess what? No Trinket available for that Hammer of Justice, so he is probably just going to die, right? I mean, I'm triple sheeping here on the Windwalker, get the triple sheeps, but pretty much soloed by the mirror images and the Pally damage with wings, and my Rogue goes down. So what we kind of learned from this game is is we need to reset a little bit quicker. If my rogue doesn't have trinket, we have to open together, right? If my rogue opens a little bit before I get there, or if I'm, if I just don't get there quite quick enough, that means I need to get there quicker myself, so we can get that Comet Storm Ice Nova and then go for that poly, force more defensive cooldowns there in the opener. Alright guys, we're fighting the same team again here on Dalaran Arena. We actually fought them a couple times on the live servers, and then we ended up doing some war games versus them, right? So we were just like, why not just war games? We get each other over and over and over, and they're like, sure. So we had a fun time versus that. But games are kind of back and forth here, starting off invis, and now this time pushing in kind of together. This is very unfortunate. I got found, and right away, I mean, getting found does happen, but you can take measures to make sure that this doesn't happen a lot. So what I could have done is stayed very far back, made sure that he couldn't AoE me out and then push in. Just be nice and patient with it. But just because the last game, I was like, okay, we want to get in there nice and quick. So I was trying to run in there, and he did find me. So that's very, very bad. Here, right away, very similar to similar opener to last time, except they were spread out a bit, which I actually don't mind that much. Here's the kitty shot on the Pally, sheep shot on the Windwalker. I get the Comet Storm and the Ice Nova this time. A lot more damage coming in. Pop the Icy Veins already, going for the Polymorph onto the Paladin. Let's see how this pans out. There's the full Polymorph, Touch of Karma coming out as well. The Nova is on the Monk. The Pally is polyed, right? The Karma's out. We got Trinket Karma this time. Much, much better situation to be in than just getting normal Karma. My Rogue is preemptively running. Guess what? He hasn't even Trinketed. So this game is way better than last game. We got Trinket Karma, and my Rogue still has his Trinket saved, right? So I'm going to just babysit the Paladin, polymorph more times, keep the Monk nice and slow to either keep him in a root or keep it slow onto him so he can't catch up to my Monk. There's the root. Now applying a Frostbolt for the slow, another Frostbolt for another slow, getting some more Icicles as well. I could think about half polymorphing the Paladin here and going for a kill. Instead, we're going to blind that Paladin. There's 9 seconds left on polymorph diminishing return. My Rogue rather, is sitting in stealth. He can sap. If he saps, it's actually going to be half. So we get Kitty the Paladin, then we can poly off that. Regardless, though, we want to get a big go onto this Monk coming up soon since he has no trinket and he's off DR. So we're going to go with the cheap shot instead of the kidney shot onto the Paladin, and he does trinket sack. Polymorph has 2 seconds left, but we don't really want to poly anyway, but this opens up the Paladin to be a potential kill target as well. I think he still has bubble, but the Monk has sack, so we can't really do anything about that. Or my Rogue could just reset and we could do 1 or 2 more goes. We're still full HP. They haven't really had an offensive go quite yet. My Rogue gets full Hammer of Justice, and that's probably just going to be his trinket. He does not decide to trinket. He's actually sitting it for a second or two here. And we actually just burst the Pally down. So I was actually looking at Rogue's health bar, but we actually just burst the Pally down here. So this is one of the games that we got kind of a lucky or fluky win, right? Paladin, I believe, still had bubble, but he popped wall and wings. So with wall and wings, he's like, okay, 32% life, let me go. But then I pop Comet Storm, Ice Nova, and just rip through the rest of his life bar. I wasn't really expecting that. He wasn't expecting that, and he does go down. So that was one of our wins. And just to get it out there clear, guys, if they play perfectly defensively, I do think the healer DPS team should beat the double DPS, right? Rogue Mage is an okay comp, but if you're fighting a healer DPS that's rotating through their defensives very, very properly, they should win. However, the reason I bring this up is because if they don't play perfect, if there's any type of part of the gameplay where you're like, oh my gosh, we can kill here because they messed up this, or we can kill here because they messed up that, that's where you really go in to get the kills as Rogue Mage. So you're capitalizing on the enemy's mistakes to really get a lot of your wins. Alright guys, another game here on Ruins of Lordaeron. We're fighting up just over and over, back to back to back to back. Once again, similar thing, right? Starting off invis, line of sighting, trying to not get found this time, right? It's definitely more beneficial if we don't get found. I'm trying to push in so my Monk, I keep saying Monk, my Rogue and I kind of get to open at the same exact time. There's the Kidney Cheap, and look how close I am. Look how nice this is. Kidney Cheap's already off, and my Icy Veins is already up. Alright, and Global Cooldown's about to finish. That means I can Comet Storm, Ice Nova, and then poly the Paladin. This is the perfect opener that we're really going for here. Comet Storm, Ice Nova, and then polymorph here onto the Paladin. Now the Monk is going to have to Karma, but my Rogue vanished, so he had to Karma me. If he didn't Karma me, he was just going to die. My Rogue vanished. He couldn't Karma my Rogue. So he Karmas me. I instantly Ice Block off the Karma. to negate the effect of Karma, gets more damage out, and the Monk goes down. Pally tries to trinket sack him, but Monk rolled over the top, and boom, we just killed the Monk in the opener through Karma by offensively blocking it with a nicely timed vanish there by my Rogue. So once again, guys, luckier, flukier win, but that's how Rogue Mage operates, right? Like a lot of the times, the wins that you do get are going to be looking like this. Having said that, you can still get real wins too, where you just slowly rotate through all the enemy defensives, but a lot of your games, guys, are because you can just do so much burst damage and get those quick kills. But if the enemy team really has those defensive cooldowns lined up and rotate through them, you don't have a healer, you can eventually go down. In the Grand Arena, guys, same matchup back and forth. This time we're going for a very similar opener. This time it's on the Grand, so it's a little more balanced of a map. I actually really enjoy when I play on this map, but focus the Paladin, target the Monk, starting off Invis, very basic. Light's Grace does have some stacks, so if we do open up onto the Monk, we want to keep that in mind and try to get a spell steal off. So we're going to wing for the Icy Veins, the Calm Storm, the Ice Nova, Trinket Stack immediately this time from the Paladin, right? They don't want to risk that, so boom, immediately start sheeping the Windwalker. Just like before, guys, my Rogue stunned, I sheep Windwalker, we want to peel this go, the go's over because we did force that sack. We can't really go Pally because that stun diminishing return, so my Rogue has to run away and survive. What I do is peel the Monk because they're not going me. I peel the enemy team. My Rogue runs away. Now that I'm the kill target, I am running away, letting my Rogue push in. We have diminishing returns back right now, so we can go at any time. Their blind comes out. Cheap shot comes out. Pally bops his own blind and throws out the second stack. Once again, go is over. Sacrifices on the Monk. Spamming slows, have polymorph DRs, and boom, throw out the polymorph. Rogue runs again. Once again, I am kind of the goalkeeper, right? I'm just keeping the Monk away from my Rogue, keeping my Rogue alive as long as possible, and we're rotating through their defensive cooldowns, which is fantastic. We've already gotten both sacks here in the first whatever time of this game. Sheep Shot now comes out, kidney onto the Paladin, go for a polymorph onto the Paladin. I guess I should quickly put that out there. We're playing Rogue Mage with no Discord. We're just playing with no voice chat or anything like that. So if some of the swaps seem like a little bit slower and not quite as fluid as they could be, that's probably why, because I'm just going based off what my Rogue's doing. He's going based off what I'm doing. We're not actually in voice communication. But anyway, cast that Ray of Frost through the pillar. We do force that Karma. Throw out another sheep on the Pally. We've actually got a lot of defensive cooldowns. The only thing they have left is Trinket from the Monk and Bubble from the Paladin. Put that Ring of Frost so my Rogue can kind of kite around it, and we trying to get another go here. This is actually a longer game. Really like this one. It's probably one of my favorite matchups. My Rogue smoke bombs, and then as the Monk rolls in, steps to the Monk and goes behind the pillar. My Rogue's doing an incredible job at evasive maneuvers right here. Monk's taking some more damage. Pally's off poly DR in 4 seconds. He does have that melee wings up, taking a lot of damage, trying to juice up this Monk so we get a lot of his health bar before this go. He does preemptively pop wall. I sheep him because my Rogue is done. Nova the Trinket, or the Nova the Dispel rather, then go for another polymorph, trying to get it here. Kidney shot comes out on the Paladin. Leg sweep now onto my Monk, and it looks like my Monk's going to go down. The Pally does offensively bubbles. Nice peels there. The pop comes out, so they're using all of their final cooldowns. Now they have nothing left. If we do one more go, we win this game. But they just use bubble and bop, so now they're just both of them kind of just running at my Rogue. My Rogue's 10% life, no defensive cooldowns left. Spamming sheep on the Monk to try to keep him alive. Pally's kind of chasing the Rogue behind the pillar, using everything I can to keep this Monk immobile, spell stealing freedom, throwing out the roots, throwing out the Novas, throwing out the slows, and my Rogue finally goes down. So this was actually my favorite game, even though we lost, because it was such a long game. We were slowly forcing their cooldowns, and if we lived one more go, right, like right here, the stun DR's off, right? We could kidney the Pally, triple sheep Monk, throw the orb, the Calm Storm, the Ice Nova, game's over. Like, we can win right here, but we ended up dying. So even though we lost it, it was still a really fun back and forth game. Let's hop into one more match though. All right, guys, in the Grand Arena again. I like this one. Here we have the Holy Pally, Windwalker, and I think we tried to change up our strategy just a little bit, because we're like, okay, that game went really well. It was very fun, and we lost. So we might have to try a different strategy. And in this game, what I think we wanted to do is open up onto the Paladin, right? We've been opening up Windwalker quite a bit, and we was like, if we open up Paladin, we might be able to actually force more defensives. And they weren't really expecting it. You can tell because Paladin was throwing Light's Grace on over to the Windwalker, so Windwalker has 3 stack Light's Grace. Paladin has 0 stack Light's Grace. Light's Grace is a 5% damage reduction per stack. Now, Pally is counterspelled for 5 seconds, guys. So that means we can get a 5-second burst window where he could potentially die without bubbling, right? My rogue sees that. He's about to open up here. We're going to get some Cross CC. There's the Comet Storm. There's the Ice Nova, and the Ray of Frost. So a ton of damage coming in. That Ring of Peace, kind of keeping my rogue out of there, but we do force bubble in the opener. So right away, not a terrible opener. Hammer of Justice comes out. My rogue immediately trinkets, line of sighting, and he does decide to vanish. Which isn't terrible. Pally's in 4 burns for about 30 seconds here, and we have some time. This Windwalker, he can kill me, but it's difficult for him to do so. I have 2 ice blocks, the temp shield, blah, blah, blah. We throw out the blind on the Paladin to set him up for a kill, right? This is super juicy. Blind the Pally, keep him in place. Throw the Monk into a full polymorph. I have the on use, the orb, have a lot of damage for this go here. If we can kind of peek around the corner. There's the smoke bomb, the cheap shot. Pally trinkets into a re-cheap shot. The wall comes out. Tons of damage kind of coming in here in a second with all my procs. There's the Comet Storm, the Ice Nova, the Flurries, the Ice Lances. Pally could just fall. He already has, he already used his bubble. He already used his trinket. He could bop, but I still could kill him through bop, and he does go down. So that this was another one of my games I actually liked, right? We tried one strategy, we got close, we executed it well, but still lost. We actually changed up the strategy, and this ended up working a lot better for us. Here was the damage breakdown. Once again, guys, they couldn't really go too offensive because we were either killing them or running. And that's kind of what I want you guys to take away from this too, is that there's no kind of just in between where we're both just taking damage, at least for the first couple of goes, and we still have a lot of defensive cooldowns like Smoke Bomb, Cloak of Shadows, Evasion, Vanish, Ice Block, right? We're either running, using our defensives, or doing a go where they're both controlled. They can't really do anything anyway. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I love playing Rogue Mage 2s. I hope you guys do too. I hope you learned something from this video. Guys, thumbs video down if you did not enjoy the video. Talk to me in the comments about what you guys want to see for next time. Guys, BfA comes out for me in 15 hours from now. 15 hours from now, the new expansion comes out. By the time you guys see this video, the expansion will be out for like a whole 12 hours or day or something. So I'm super excited to get my hands onto it and play. Tons of BfA content to come, so make sure to subscribe for that. I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.